This is Holy Cross mock for component 1 and paper 3, and we're on to the essay question 8. It's all about wetlands and things that pollute wetlands and things that can be done about them. So as ever in our essays, we're looking for usually 3 areas to think about, and so here's my 3 sort of clouds. Things that we've got mentioned. It says, explain how pollutants mentioned will affect the organisms. Well, which pollutants are mentioned? And we're talking about excessive amounts of sewage, slurry and fertilizers. That's one thing we could talk about. Sediments from building and construction. That's our second thing. And we've got heavy metal ions accumulate. There's a third thing there. And it also says what measures could the conservation organisations take. Right, well that's definitely going to be one cloud. It's got to be the last thing. What measures? So conservation measures, and the other 2 are the pollutants. So really we wanted the best, your best 2 out of these 3. And so if we go now, pollutant 1, pollutant 2, and you might have decided to go with 4 clouds possibly, and you might have talked about pollutant 3. So the sewage, slurry and fertilizers, the sediments, and the heavy metal ions. So what are they actually wanting? Well, the sewage, then we're talking about algal blooms, eutrophication. So nitrate making plants grow, the death of the algae when those nitrates run out, then they are decomposed by aerobic bacteria that divide. Aerobic respiration depletes the oxygen, and then problems for other animals, invertebrates and larger animals. So that's what you're talking about, eutrophication, and that's just a copy and paste out of your notes about algal blooms and eutrophication. Sediments, and it actually tells you they block out the light, so block out light, and then you want less photosynthesis, and then you've got plants dying and decomposition, and that will lead to less oxygen as well. And you could possibly talk about the effects on energy in the food chains there. There's less energy in food chains. Whilst we're talking about the pollutants, let's talk about the heavy metals. This is probably had to cast your mind back just a bit further. but we mentioned those when we talked about enzymes back in the day. Remember, your core knowledge will crop up every now and again. So for example, these are non-competitive enzyme inhibitors, and so obviously they're going to have a problem with any enzyme reactions. And examples that you might know about, things like mercury and lead to death of organisms in food chains as well. So we're looking for that information there. And then conservation measures. Again, this is from your human impact, and they're all listed, and lots of examples and things. We're looking for things like sites of special scientific interest, legislation, and you might have some examples from your notes in that. For example, fines, and then what you might do instead of these things. Other ways of doing the same thing, agriculture, things like that, education, ecotourism. So all of those are in your human impact notes. So just go to those for kind of sensible answers. Okay.